Hi guys, this is Vo. We're gonna take a look at back issue number 147 on my Remarkable. Um, if you don't know, back issue is actually a magazine published by Two Morals Publishing, and normally it's an oversized magazine. Here's the sample magazine. I actually didn't bring too many back issues with me, literally because. Magazine and back issue, my regular back issue, because I actually had a limited space when I moved, and so everything I own had to fit into a container, and also whatever I could fit in my car. The container was not enough. I ended up losing about half my comic book collection. Most of my magazine had to go. I wish I kind of kept it or brought it with me, but that's just how life is. So back issue number 147 is kind of like a celebration of George's life and work. I didn't really love it. I think most of my problem is actually the countdown. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I think there's a lot to like about this issue. And if we take a look at the thumbnails, my friend George Perez, this is probably the best one of the magazine because it actually talks a lot about his early work, his amateur work, stuff that I've already known a lot of this stuff like from his fanzines, but it's always kind of fascinating to see his early life before he became a pro. Um, so that's really fascinating. The other one I really like is like interviews with Mindy Newell. I think that's towards the end of the book or the magazine. Um, so yeah, so you can see most of this is the countdown, which I thought was really went on a little too long. This is an Andy Mangels article that's worth taking a look at if you like Wonder Woman, because Andy is like a huge Wonder Woman fan, and so a lot of good stuff here. Let's take a look at the let's take a look at that the Mindy interview. So yeah, this is. By the way, if you're not familiar with the e-ink display, how it works is there are ink particles that is written on the display, and once it's written, it doesn't consume any power. The only power it needs is the instruction to what kind of color pigment to display. Once it's display, there's no it doesn't use the battery or anything, so you can have this device for maybe like a couple weeks without charging it. And also because it doesn't consume electricity, there's no light on this, for example. There's no light coming off of the device because in a traditional display, there's light emitting from the background to give you the image. And while a traditional monitor or screen looks great and color accurate, this doesn't consume any power. So that's what's really nice about it. In fact, actually, how I'm reading this is because of there's daylight, and it's like a book where a book doesn't come with its own flashlight. Um, so yeah, so this is the Remarkable Paper Pro, which has the ability to display color, so you can see color. Um, Most e-ink display is in black and white, and that makes for a good novel reading. But because I use I consume comic books and magazines, I do need it in color, and I need it in a large format such as this display. This is, I think it's only 12 inches or close to 13 inches, but obviously the larger you go, the more expensive this is. So my big problem with this magazine is the top 20 George Perez greatest hits of the back issue era. This basically is back issue, which is the magazine greatest hits, and it's not a top 20 of all time, because all the stuff in here I kind of disagree with, or I disagree with most of them. I think the problem is I also had with this is that for every top 20 number, they use 2 pages to get their point across, and as a result, the top 20 is about 40 pages of just top 20, which the magazine's only 80 pages, so you're taking half the book just for this top 20. And I think I like I said, I didn't really like it, so it just felt like half this book was bad in my opinion. Obviously you might disagree and say that I'll give you an example of something I disagree with. Let's do Taskmaster. I think I can agree should be on the top 20, but let me see. There's stuff that in here that like doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, let's Thunder Agents. Okay, I mean everybody loves Thunder Agent and Bollywood, and but I wouldn't consider this in George's top 20 work. That's just my opinion on it. I don't get it. Maybe 20 was too large of a number. They could have cut this down to 10, or maybe even instead of 2 pages per number, they could have cut it down to 1 pages, or maybe half a page. I would be fine with. It does not need to be 40 pages of taking up half the book. I guess they gotta fill it up with content, I guess. Maybe they didn't have enough stuff to include. In which case I can maybe counter it with an argument of maybe you can just have full page like sketches, George Perez's sketches, because I've got a few that looks incredible, especially with Wonder Woman. He might have drawn that character like a million times, so you could have used, I don't know, like this could have been better utilized, I guess, instead of a top 20 list that frankly I didn't really care for. Maybe from Perez Collector, that maybe this is like not content that I'm looking for. Otherwise, it's I mean, it's a nice tribute to George, and they pretty much dedicated a whole issue to him. So yeah, some of the other content you're gonna find is Marv Wolfman's In Memoriam, that flashback article, which, like I said, is probably the best part of this book. It's an art gallery of his that's part of that flashback. I think that's really good. Yeah, so the 20 greatest hits, page 11, and then it ends in page 54. So that's a huge gap that I would have just skipped over. I don't know. Some more art gallery, backstage passes by George, which is I think the Andy Mangels article. And then there's an interview with Mindy Newell. And then I guess the feedback section, which is like a letter page. but because it's the modern age, it's I think they use social media. Um, but yeah, so basically one, two, three, four articles basically. The rest is artwork and other stuff. But I don't know. It's worth getting if you're a Wonder Woman fan, if you're George Paris fan. It's definitely worth checking out. I'll probably eventually just get the paper version as soon as I figure out my storage situation. I don't have any comic book boxes, for example, and I don't have any magazine boxes because part of the problem with that flood is that it destroyed anything cardboard that wasn't protected by plastic bags was destroyed, and so so I lost all my boxes, and I lost a lot of magazines too. Actually, a lot of manga, a lot of just stuff from my just I guess I collected so much stuff in the that I didn't realize how much stuff I actually had. In fact, actually, when I moved, it was kind of like a surprise when I went to the basement and I kind of rediscover stuff I had, which is pretty amazing. Stuff I didn't know I had. So anyway, but yeah. So back issue 147. Hope this brings awareness to the issue, and hopefully you can get it. Oh, here's the picture of Marv Wolfman and George Paris. So yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.